Oh, dear me. That's better. Had it on the fucking wrong page. There we go. We are in live with midweek mix-up
Hello.
weekend edition. Hello, everybody. Sorry for that weird thing there. You can see the stream health there, the chat rate, everything, very momentarily, but it's all good. On the right page now. How is everybody today? Welcome back to the midweek mix-up weekend edition. A shorter episode than usual, of course. There isn't much going on in the gaming universe right now, but there are things we need to talk about. And of course, what we will be doing is a spoiler-free discussion about Series 4 of Stranger Things as well, because let's face it, it's been absolutely awesome. It's worth speaking about. Um, but yes, we will get into all of that. We'll get into games we've been playing, games we're looking forward to, and of course, one of the main discussions as well, which is toxicity in the gaming community around developers. Of course, it's been a big topic in the community this week, specifically the way certain people within the community treat developers and things like that. So we'll discuss that. But before we jump into anything, a huge welcome to everybody watching in the chat. I hope everyone's having an awesome weekend or had an awesome weekend. And for those of you just starting your Sundays over on the American side, I hope you're enjoying it too. And enjoy the rest of your day going forward. But Jen, how are you today, brother? Are you feeling a little better?
Yep, I'm feeling much better. As everyone knows, I was hit with the old Rona, not this Saturday, just gone the Saturday before. So I'm 8 days into Rona, still testing positive, but the line is like so thin now. I think it's pretty much gone. Day 5 was the worst
Yeah.
out of all of it. Other than that, I was fine. Day 5 was just the only day that really messed me up, and I felt so tired after day 5. So I spent most of the days after that just sleeping.
No, I don't blame you.
But yeah, did manage to play Sea of Thieves with you and the collective lot,
Yeah.
and that was a good time.
As always.
That was like day 3 into COVID, I think. So that was a hell of a lot of fun. Managed to kill a lot of people in that game.
Yeah.
Because we were being chased relentlessly by the same 2 people that would not leave us alone. So I had to spank them a little bit, put them into submission.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I've tried to game, but I haven't had it in me. I tried to go through all the Gears games. I thought now's a good time to go through all the Gears games. Nope, didn't do it. Loaded up Gears Judgment, played it for about 20 minutes, and then gave up. So yeah, not much gaming. Mostly just been binge watching TV. I started Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I'm almost finished with that. And obviously Stranger Things finale. The last 2 episodes came out, and I watched those. Yeah, just been watching so many films. I watched Hot Tub Time Machine, The Watch, so many films, and then I just got bored of watching stuff.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
There's only so much you can watch before your mind just gives up. But yeah, I'm doing good now.
When I'm in one of them kind of routines, I start watching really random shit that I've either watched before or haven't, like loads of B movies and shit, just to try and find something new.
See, whenever I'm sick, I usually just watch something that I've watched 1,000 times before. So that's pretty much what I did. I binge watched Mighty Morphin Power Rangers because I grew up with that as a kid, and watched a bunch of films I watched time and time again.
Yeah, that's fair. That's usually what I do. To be fair, that and just watch films I've watched over and over again. Like Interstellar's a comfort film. Like I'll hide that on if I want at least 3 hours of
Shaun
my
of the
life.
Dead's usually a comfort film, but I didn't watch that.
What was
Which
that?
is weird. It's usually Shaun of the Dead.
Oh,
I've seen it thousands of times. When I'm sick, I usually throw it on multiple times when I'm sick, and I just watch it. I could watch that film on repeat.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Have you managed to be playing anything else though? Or is it just that?
No. Tried just Gears really. I'll tell a lie. I did play a bit of Hunt Showdown on console, and that was painful.
Yeah. You're just so used to playing it on PC now.
Yeah, I'm so used to playing it on PC. It feels weird playing it on a controller because I don't move at the speeds I'm used to. So it's slow and clunky on controller and fast and fluid on mouse and keyboard. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's fair.
that wasn't a fun experience.
No,
Not
I
not a
can't
fan
imagine it
of
would have
Hunt
been.
on console.
I can't imagine it would have been. Dear me. Yeah. So I haven't really been playing much either. To be fair, I actually installed FIFA 22, the next gen version, the other day, just because I was in the mood to play a football game. Not because it's a good football game, just because I was in the mood to play one. So I played a few games of that. I tried to get an Ultimate Team on it, and I had absolutely no idea what they've turned that into now. So I just jumped out of that and just played regular online matches. Um, Played a bit of Fall Guys, of course. Played Sea of Thieves. Um, had played a bit of Blade Runner, as I mentioned the other day as well on the podcast. Um, I think that's roughly about it. Actually, I still need. Everyone keeps saying playing a racker, and I will get around to it. I just haven't, just haven't installed it yet. I don't know about you. Have you
I,
tried
I
Naraka
did
Blade
I
Point?
did try that on the Saturday when I got my first symptom,
Yeah,
and I didn't go much on it. I didn't go much on it at all. I thought it was very clunky,
yeah,
but maybe that's just because I've not played it enough. I don't know. I should try it some more.
yeah. I haven't tried it at all, but everyone keeps saying it's great. So
Mm. Yeah, I didn't think much of it from the small hour of it I streamed.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. No, I need to get into it. It might be fun with friends. You never know. It might just be feel a bit rubbish when you're playing by yourself.
Yeah, yeah, we'll try it again. Mainly for when that campaign comes out for it. That's the only thing I'm really looking forward to for that.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder when is that coming out, the campaign?
Isn't it this month? End of this month? Or am I
Might,
wrong?
yeah, I think might be. Could be right. We've also got in 2 weeks' time the Hot Wheels DLC for Forza Horizon,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
and that narrative game as well. What's it called again? That one with like the stills that keep moving in certain things, and it's like about bank robbers or
Um,
something.
as Dusk Falls, is it?
That's the one. Yes, and that's coming out this month as well. Um,
Yeah, I can't say I'm that bothered about that game.
yeah, I'm gonna try it, see what it's about. Duck Falls, Duck Falls. I'm gonna try it and see what it's about. I'll give everything a chance, a first chance anyway. But if it doesn't grab us, then it doesn't grab us. So at least I've tried it. Um, but yes, so that's fair. That's fair. We're going to jump into something negative that we're going to rant about for a bit, and then we're going to talk about games that we're looking forward to that are coming up, and then we're going to get into the season 4 review, spoiler-free review of Stranger Things as well. Of course, the last time we spoke about TV series, it was when we were covering the Halo series when that was out, episode by episode. This time, of course, with the way Stranger Things is kind of pulled together, where everything releases at the same time, apart from part 2, which was 2 giant episodes. We couldn't do a
Yeah, I
weekly
think that
one.
was because the whole editing situation with that, they had to put out what they could put out and work on the other episodes that they were trying to get out.
The massive finales.
Yeah, it's like 4 hours in total, wasn't it? Like something like that, close to 4 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty much 4 hours. Yeah, it was like 1.5 and 2:20.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably to be honest, it would have been a little bit longer. I don't know whether or not it was just me, but I waited until there was like till the credits had completely finished, just in case there was some kind of after credits tease for the next season.
I did do that as well. 'Cause didn't they do that in previous seasons where they did something like I think it was with Hopper, right? When he was in
Yes,
Russia, they sort of hinted towards it.
hinted towards that he was, yeah, at the very end. They hinted towards that he was alive. We were like, no.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to speak on that Halo situation because now we've got Paramount Plus in the UK.
Yes.
I don't get why they didn't just release all of the episodes at once.
Yeah, same. I don't know why they're going back to weekly.
I think they released 4 episodes at once, and then they released weekly. But I really don't understand why they did that. They should have just released them all, considering the majority of people have already seen it.
Yeah.
That wanted to watch it.
Seeing it dodgily.
Yep.
And I don't understand as well, like Paramount Plus is out now, so does that mean season 2 is going to be everywhere at the same time? Weekly? Or does that mean that the US gets it first and then it comes over to the UK?
I have no idea. I'm not sure if partnerships with Sky will affect that.
Yeah, I was going to say, because if it is a case of when it comes now, because the app is in the UK and Paramount Plus is launched in the UK, then everything is released natively worldwide at the same time for season 2. Then I'd probably get Paramount Plus to watch it natively instead of watching a streamed version online. At least I'll be able to watch it in like 4K or whatever the app lets you do.
To be honest, I redeemed the 30-day free trial you get through Game Pass perks.
But there's no app on the console yet.
There's no bloody app on the Xbox. What the hell? And I looked for the app on my smart TV. No app there either.
Yeah.
It's only on mobile in the UK, the app.
It's like, do you know Virgin...
sit there and watch a TV series on my phone.
Do you know Virgin Media? They have Disney Plus, but they only have it on Virgin Stream Stick. They don't have it on the actual... on the app on the actual TiVo box, which makes absolutely no sense. So they have it where you can include it on part of your service, but you can't get it unless you've got a streaming stick.
It's so weird. Like,
why don't you just put it on the fucking box, you morons? Just put it on the TiVo box.
Yeah, you'd expect, especially with a partnership deal where they've
already got Amazon there and they've got Netflix there. So why don't you put Disney Plus there? Why not? Just give us the apps.
It's bizarre. Like I say it all up. I thought, I'm going to go to the App Store. I'm going to download the app. I looked. I thought, where's the app? And then I Googled it and I was like, no app. Okay. That was ridiculous. But yeah, I don't think much of Paramount Plus. There's not really much on there, to be honest. It's kind of barren.
It's just a
especially
Halo
in the UK.
place.
Yeah. Like Halo is like one of the main shows, and there's some Star Trek stuff which I've heard bad things about. But yeah, like I'm never gonna subscribe to that at any point in time. Recently, like I can't even words today, but like it's not something I'm gonna subscribe to properly soon. But they need to really put out some content before I consider subscribing.
And the chat's making far too much sense as well. Barely making rent. I would love to use a smart TV app, but smart TVs are just as shit as fucking apps on the console. They're so slow. I hate using the smart TV apps. It's like trying to navigate using a fucking magic wand that's like broken. I don't know if anybody else has got the same thoughts. Have you tried navigating the apps on an actual smart TV before? It's painful.
On my LG, I have no problems with it, but with the Sony TV that we got in the living room, it's so sluggish.
Yeah. See, I have this LG, but even then, I just don't like it's just the navigation with a friggin' with an actual normal TV remote. I just find it so sluggish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't say I've ever really thought about that, to be honest. now that you've said it, I'll go indoors and I'll be like, this is fucking sluggish.
This is fucking horrible. What am I doing?
To answer Mr. Jonah Dark's message there, you can watch Rugrats and SpongeBob. For some reason, it doesn't have the classic SpongeBob on there or the classic Rugrats. So why would I want to watch that? It's like the new versions and it looks weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of things that look weird, but I'll be playing it regardless, and also something that's wound me up a little bit. But again, money speaks. Return to Monkey Island. I'm really not digging that art style. And it's really divided the Monkey Island community as well, because a lot of people love it, and then a lot of people really don't. and I'm one of the people that don't because it looks nothing like the original characters. It's so different.
I actually haven't seen it yet.
Have you not?
No.
They've got right. So at the Nintendo Treehouse event or whatever you want to call it, their little live event, they showed off a little bit of gameplay for it. Then the Return to Monkey Island website launched. And at that point, it was announced that it launches first for Nintendo Switch and PC in 2022, and nothing about other consoles at all. Whether they'll release them at all, whether it's further down the line, nothing. There's no Q&As about it. They haven't answered the questions when I've asked them, so I have no idea. So
That's pretty strange. They've not mentioned if it's coming to other consoles.
I know. And considering I've got all the Monkey Islands, well, I've got the available Monkey Islands on Xbox as it stands, the remaster of number 1 and remaster of number 2, which are both 360 games. And I've also got all of them on PC, like including the horrendous 3D one. I'll be playing it on PC again anyway, but I would have loved to have had it on Xbox at launch, but Nintendo have got it first. I don't know. I think Nintendo, to be fair, with having the Joy-Con and having the whole moving around situation, I think that'll work well for point and click. It's not going to tax the console at all because of the art style. So I think that'll work well. I'll probably get it on the Switch as well, to be fair. For console purposes, but I would have loved it to have launched simultaneously across everything. But here we go again with console timed exclusivities. I don't understand. I don't specifically an indie game like Return to Monkey Island, and they're not saying when it's coming to anything else. I would have expected a franchise that big.
The art style is quite different. I'm just looking now.
Yeah, very different.
Mm.
Yeah, that's Fanto. It's exactly my thing.
Change it then.
Yeah, Fanto said it exactly the same. My issue with the art style is that it's unrecognizable from the originals, and that's my thing. It's a nostalgia thing. The originals, even the 3D one, all the characters were recognizable. I can barely recognize the characters on Return to Monkey on this new one, barely. I don't understand why they went for giant head. Sean, don't make me inflict pain on you, British. That is Square publishing Monkey Island. No, thankfully not. Yeah, Monkey Island is now a timed exclusive. Yep. Timed exclusive console release to Nintendo Switch and PC. I'll be playing it on both. I'll get it on both. It's a franchise I've loved from the start. Even though it'll take some getting used to that art style. Just hope the rest of the game is as it is. Thankfully, the audio's awesome still. The soundtrack is still as recognizable as ever. So hopefully it stays that way. But yes. Other than that, there is a way to reinvent an art style, but still paying homage to the original. But I don't think they hit with it. Yeah, I agree with that as well. Joshua. On this occasion, I don't think they hit it with this. I don't understand the giant head thing that they've got going on. I don't think they needed. They could have used the same art style without the giant head, and it would have been all right. It does look cleaner, but that's because the other games were like 2 decades old. Bound to look cleaner. Anyway, yes, one of the big things that's happened in the gaming community as of this last week or so, is developers. Of course, we know we give developers a hard time at times, but there's a way to do it constructively, and there's not a way to do it toxic. And the developers across most well, a lot of different studios now are speaking out on the toxicity they receive all of the time, whether that be larger developers like Sony Santa Monica for God of War, or smaller developers like indie studios creating Hypercharge, um, all speaking out on the toxicity that's surrounding them. Now, if people weren't aware, a developer for Sony Santa Monica on God of War received kind of an explicit DM from a fan demanding the release date whilst sending dick pics of himself to them. I don't know why he thought that was a good idea or why he thought that would get the release date to this particular developer. But it's never a good idea.
It's so fucking stupid that people do this shit.
Yep.
Like, grow the fuck up.
Yeah, it's bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. But then it brought a larger kind of thing into the light with a lot of different developers, kind of essentially highlighting the amount of hate they actually get just around things like that. The Monkey Island developers, exactly, Sean, they got it exactly the same around the art style. Obviously, we're going to speak out and say we don't like it, etc. But the vitriol they got specifically around the art style in the forums and things like that made the lead developer, Rod Gilbert, say he's not going to speak about the game anymore. He's not going to show off the game anymore. He's not going to talk about it. He's just going to release it. He's basically fun joy sapped out of everything to do with the game because of the community and the vitriol that he was getting. And it's insane. It needs to stop, and I don't understand why people think the toxicity around hate mail, death threats, and everything to developers is going to get you your answer. Sending them a death threat if you don't get your release date or something like that.
Disgusting behavior. It's beyond childish.
Way beyond childish. It's absolutely It's absolute insanity. I don't understand.
It's like a spoilt child throwing their toys out of the pram because they can't get a brand new toy.
Yeah. Just because no one's telling you the release date. But yes, you've been waiting, but do you think nobody else has been waiting for the release date as well? And do you think developers don't want to give you that release date? They'll give you the release date when it's ready. Just exactly. Be paid. It's like it's still like this is what I mentioned this a couple of times this week. It's like silver spoon childish behavior. It's like I demand what I want and I will have it because mommy and daddy told me I can have it, so I will have it.
It's that part of the gaming community that really makes things bad, and it's an embarrassment, to be honest.
Completely embarrassment. And that spoils it for everybody else. It completely spoils it for everybody else, and the developers included. Because they're just trying to, all they're trying to do is make a game and give you a game that you enjoy and love. But unfortunately,
yeah, they wonder why a lot of these people that have now had people send them these explicit pictures and death threats via DMs, they'll wonder why those people pull out of social media and are not so active on there anymore. It's because they did it. You decided to be a complete fucking idiot and a complete, I don't really want to say the word because it's not the best of words, CUNT. Stop being a CUNT, grow the fuck up, because this is not acceptable behavior.
You know what I'd be doing? I'd be inclined to do if I was a developer in that situation and my staff were given death threats. I'd tell them to send a response to each of these people without any vitriol. Just ask them for their PSN or gamer tag, and if they continue to show death threats, I wouldn't even give them the release date. Just continue to send death threats up until the point of release. Then I would just ban them from purchasing the game. They don't at that point they don't deserve to play the game in the first place. If you're going out of your way to send death threats over a video game, you need to take a step back from gaming, go outside, and actually experience life. Because it's not that serious. It's a fucking video game.
My message to those people that send death threats and send explicit pictures to developers, or really anyone for that matter of fact, show your phone to your parents or a sibling and go to them, is this acceptable? They will probably slap you around the face.
Yep. Well, show it to better still. Show it to your boss. Show it to your boss at work. See how far that gets you. Your boss would get rid of you. Your boss would be like, "Are you sending death threats to people? That's not the type of person I want working here."
It's become a joke. It's got increasingly worse. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It has got increasingly worse over the years with
it's
level of entitlement from some gamers.
It's the entitlement
ridiculous.
and the growth of social media, thinking that if you're behind a screen and behind a keyboard, you are impenetrable to any repercussions to your actions. And I think there needs to be a tougher stance down on that. I think if someone's going to be acting like an absolute arsehole online, then they need actual repercussions.
I think social media should be like, you should need an ID to sign up for social media because
100%.
It's beyond a joke.
100%. Gets rid of all the soccer accounts. I don't care if people think that's some form of monitoring, but if you want to hide behind an account and talk about and send death threats to people behind the guise of an anime avatar or a game character and a fake name and some numbers at the end, and you think that's a good idea to do that and you'll never be found, well, guess again, it takes 2 minutes to find someone.
I just think we need to move into an era of social media where people need to not be allowed to make these soccer accounts where they can be anonymous online like that and spew their shit online.
Yep.
And send disgusting direct messages to people. It's not.
The funny thing is, when you're creating a Facebook account and you get locked out of your Facebook account, the one thing you need to do to prove it's you for your account is to send proof of you. But they never ask for proof of you when you're first creating it. I don't understand why they don't just do that from the off. If you're creating an account on social media, whether it be Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, you have to prove it's you. And if you don't prove it's you, or you're too young to have an account yourself, then it's your parents that need to be sending the info to them. Okay, this is me. As simple as that. It would literally cut half this shit out, because when you're reporting somebody, then they're reporting a specific person, and that person would never be able to create another account again.
It's similar to that situation with the I can't remember the actress's name, but she was in the Obi-Wan TV series, and the amount of racial abuse she got in her direct messages was unbelievable, and it's disgusting. And members of that specific series,
I remember you and McGregor speaking out on it as well.
Yeah, he came out and spoke about it. It's not on. People should not be allowed to anonymously send people abuse over the internet in this day and age.
Not to that extent. We understand. Listen, we're all people. The vast majority of the people in this chat are the same people that grew up in the COD lobbies on friggin' Xbox 360. Yeah. Like that was toxic as shit. But at the same time, that wasn't toxic. I'm going to come and find you and murder you and kill all your wife and your kids and all that shit. Like that was just calling each other, oh, I banged your mom and I slept with this and I did that and you're a dick, you're a this. It was name calling, is what it was.
It was stupid, immature.
Stupid name calling. It was immature. But it wasn't the level of toxicity that we're talking about now, where people are sending death threats to people. Saying they're going to, without using the word itself, harm their wife and kids, etc. It's absolutely unacceptable in all manners of the situation. It should never be accepted. It's absolutely insane that it's got to that point, to be fair. And again, like both Fantosa and Joshua James are saying, Joshua says we live in an age where people don't want to be accountable for their actions or have any real responsibilities. And Fantosa says anonymity has really shown people to be ugly on the inside. Absolutely, it shows when they can hide behind a facade and they don't show their face, they're going to be ugly. Absolutely, because they're going to get away with murder and not actually be responsible for what they say and what they do. And then when they start being toxic and being abusive and things like that, and then they get banned, then they play the victim montage. Oh, why me? You know exactly why you. Don't pretend that, what's a freedom of speech? It's got nothing to do with freedom of speech. It's about being a dickhead. If you're a dickhead, then you're going to get what comes to you. Simple as that. But it was even hard to see the kind of indie developer Hypercharge, and it was a social media manager there. He's like, this is just me running his account, and I'm getting loads of abuse just because of a release date. So it's not just PlayStation fans, it's Xbox fans, TV series fans. There's so many different things across the board. It's like, it's absolutely insane the manner of vitriol and things these days.
There's always that particular section of a fandom that are to that level of toxicity disgusting.
Oh, 100%, 100%. We saw it directed towards the community when the likes of Elden Ring come out. Have you seen the amount of toxicity that went around there just because people were asking for easier modes or accessibility options, etc.?
I mean, our friends over at Gamers Watch, they put a silly little, it was intended to be a light-hearted, silly video, and they got an utter, I can't even explain how many people must have commented on it, the amount of toxic crap that they got just for a stupid, silly video.
And this is what people don't seem to understand as well, is more options for other people does not mean the options for you disappear. Your original way of playing that video game is always going to remain there. If you're weak or believe you're too weak to stay on your original options, if an easier option is available, that's got nothing to do with the developers. That just means you actually need an easier option. And you don't want to play on the hard option. You're playing on the hard option to try and have some kind of trophy above your head to say, look at me, I beat this in its hardest form. There is, it's some imaginary trophy that you're all squabbling about. It's a video game. Video games are there, or meant to be there, to be enjoyed, to have fun.
Escape from reality.
To escape, to play with your friends, to have a laugh. They're not meant to be taken in a form that people are taking them in, like it's life or death. It is not life or death. It's a medium and a route to escape your day-to-day life. You might be going to work and having an absolute shit time at work, but you're still grinding through it. And you come home on a night time, and you just want to relax, play your favorite game, play a few rounds of COD or FIFA or Fortnite, or play on Forza for a bit, or play the new God of War, whatever it is that you like to play to relax and wind down. You just do that to have fun, relax, and take your mind off the world. The developers do exactly the same thing. They go to work, they create everything. They're doing their best to create things that you love. They come home, and they just want to be able to wind down and enjoy what they love, which is gaming, but they can't. Because they've got a hellish toxic community stalking them night and day and sending them death threats.
Constantly breathing down their necks over a stupid release date that really isn't all that important.
Yeah.
You'll get the release date when you get it. The game will come out when it comes out.
And the worst thing is some these same people don't understand that the people that are running the social media accounts don't have a fucking clue when any of this is going to occur. They're just running the social media account.
They're so far out of the loop when it comes to knowing the release date of a game.
All they've been doing, the guys who capture the screenshots, the in-game art, etc., will randomly just inbox them. Here's some new in-game snaps and stuff you can use. Brilliant. Okay, we'll put that out for social media. Terrific. We'll create some posts with that, some content for people to enjoy. But that's it. It's as much as they'll get. They don't know anything about the rest of the development until they're told so by higher up. They're not in the loop like some people would assume they are. They are literally just in charge of social media, interacting with the public.
They log into their socials on a daily basis. They do their job as a social media manager, and then they sign off at the end of the day when all is done.
Yep.
They don't know specific details of what's going on with the development of the game.
100%.
So stop berating them with your pointless DMs and your disgusting behaviour that you send in those DMs, and start growing up.
Yeah.
Most of these people that are probably doing this are probably in their mid to late 20s, and they're acting like a complete jackass.
Oh, yeah, I would go so far as to say some of these are middle-aged men. I would go so far to say some of these are middle-aged men acting like children.
So they're man babies. They're acting like spoilt little teens that have had their way their entire lives.
And it's suffice to say, and this is why we don't interact with troll accounts or try to stay away from troll accounts, etc. on Twitter. Troll accounts think that what they're doing is fun and it causes no harm, etc. But what they don't seem to understand is, as much as they know they're taking the piss and they're joking on and they're just like having a joke and they shouldn't take them seriously, etc. The vast majority, I would say 75 to 80% of the people following those troll accounts think they are being deadly serious. And it causes more vitriol. And unfortunately, the little subsection, the 80% are all younger generation. So they just fall for this toxicity and think that it's normal to do that. It's not normal to do that. These people just like the clicks, and unfortunately you fell for the bait. And now you're going to go on as if it's normal to act and behave that way to developers, and it isn't. And it isn't. If there's anybody, if I've ever
people out there that are foaming at the mouth over a fucking release date,
if I ever seen anyone that I'm following or follows me gets involved with that kind of toxicity, I'd just be blocking you immediately. Blocked. With nothing to do with you. That is not what the community's for. It's certainly not what our community's for, and it's not the type of people I want to be around. Thankfully, our community doesn't get involved in that. The awesome people in this chat do not get involved in that. Shout out to Steel Rain as well. How are you doing, sir? Hope you had a good, awesome show yesterday. I did catch the vast majority of it. Awesome stuff as usual. But yes, another one of our collective members there. But yes, it's it just needs it really needs to be put to bed. These people need to be held accountable. The fact is, the vast majority of the community needs to tell them all. It's wrong. Stop goading them on. Stop encouraging them, because the more you're encouraging them, the more it goes on. It is not okay to harass developers. I don't care how fucking stupid the game is. Don't do it.
Could you imagine, though, if they did come out and said that God of War was delayed? Could you imagine the level of toxicity from some of these people?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Because, again, like I say, it's not even just God of War. The poor devs behind Hypercharge, which is just a tiny indie game with like a couple of guys that are making it, 4 or 5 guys, and there's one social media guy that's looking after the social media. And they've been getting the same shit. They've been getting death threats and abuse and things just over not telling them what a release date is. There's 4 or 5 guys working on the game. It's not just a case. It's not an easy... They've even said themselves, we have no idea when the release date is because we're just 4 or 5 guys making a game. Like, we're trying to make games as good as we can. So as and when it's ready to release, we'll be able to tell you, but we don't know ourselves because we're still trying to do it. It's just insane. Like, stop it, people. Well, it's video games. Just enjoy video games when they're meant to be enjoyed. We used to be able to do that. Continue to do that. Go back to being nice to each other and just talking about video games and what you like. It all stems down to the same people that call a game trash instead of just saying it's not for me. Like, I hate those people and they're just like, no, it's trash. It isn't a trash game. It's just not for you. Yeah, but I think it's trash. Yeah, but that just means it's not for you. It's not a trash game. Like, I'd love to see these same people make a video game. That winds me up every time. Oh, the game's trash. Have you made one? Well, no, but I should be able to comment You can't comment on it. Stop saying, like, I can't say that this movie is absolutely horrific. I can say I didn't enjoy the film. I thought it was a bad film. But I can't say, oh, that was trash. They should have done X, Y, and Z. I am not a movie producer. I do not write scripts, etc. It's not for me to say that. I can tell you I don't like the film. I can tell you I thought it was a bad film. But I can't tell you why it was bad. Well, I can tell you why it was bad or why I didn't enjoy it. But I can't say that was absolute trash. And everybody who enjoys it is wrong. That's not the case. I just didn't enjoy it. If somebody else did, great. Good for you.
Yeah. When it comes to this like whole release date thing, it's got to a point where this happens on all sides of fandoms, where they're using a release date as like this title trophy type thing. That our game's coming out then this day. We've got something to look forward to. What have you got?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
I know. Why do people just say, like, oh, I'm looking forward to this game? They can't say, I'm looking forward to this game without saying something about something that they don't like. I'm looking forward to this game, but you don't have any games. Ha ha.
Why have people, well, a specific group of people, why do they care so much
about what other people do?
The release date of a game?
Yeah. Or what other people enjoy?
More about the actual game itself, and the fact that you're going to get to play that at some point should be enough for you to go, that game is going to be fucking amazing when I play it.
Yeah.
Why is everyone treating these release dates like there's some glorified title belt from a fucking WWE game?
I know. And it's another thing as well, is essentially like, they say this to people who have all consoles. Well, I'm playing this. What are you playing? I'm playing the same thing you are. Like, I don't know why you think this is a trophy. Like, just because like my preference is Xbox and your preference is PlayStation, it doesn't mean other people don't have other consoles and they don't play other games. They just have a preference for another thing. It's not like a big celebratory hoo-ha, I get to play a game and you don't. Like, what mentality is around that?
It's for those toxic people, the toxic people that treat it like they're a member of some special club.
Yep. Miss Fanto's got it right. It is a mob mentality. Some folks do just want to be part of the drama. Absolutely right. They do. And it does need to come to an end. Thankfully, like I say, our community, this awesome community that we've got around here, and the community that goes around Gamers Watch, and the community that goes around Live and Split Screen, and all of those awesome guys. Thankfully, there is no toxicity there. There isn't, and they don't cultivate a community like that. They cultivate a community with open discussion, and it should remain that way.
Well, we don't tolerate it either.
Yeah, exactly. The one and only time the other week we had someone trying to be toxic in the chat, he got timed out. And he's not been back since. We don't tolerate it. We mentioned this. We called him out publicly. We said we don't tolerate it. This isn't what the community is about. If you want to have a normal conversation within the community, then do so. But the moment you get toxic, you get timed out or you get banned. It's as simple as that. This community is meant to support each other. It's meant to have fun with each other, be able to have open and honest and great discussions with each other and have a laugh. And this is what we've always fostered throughout the creation of this community all the way through to where it is now, is to be able to have that safe haven where you haven't got the toxicity you have on social media. And it's been awesome, and we'll keep it that way. So, yeah.
I'm glad that I took the time to mute and block a bunch of toxic people that I don't see toxic shit in my timeline very often.
Yep, exactly. And people need to do that. If you see any kind of toxicity, instead of just keeping them around because you want to see what they say next, just mute them or block them. If you don't want to block them, then mute them. Simple as that. Just mute them. They'll be still there, but you just don't see their posts. If you know they're a cool guy, normally they're just winding people up for fun, shits and giggles, but you don't like what they post, mute them. You can generally have normal conversations with those people and behind closed doors, but there are some that you just need to block.
Yep, and I've done that. I've blocked some of the ones that are just over the top, and I've muted a bunch that I don't really want to see their engagements with toxic shit.
Yeah. That's the thing. Some people aren't toxic, but they'll engage with toxicity. And pulling people away from that is sometimes quite difficult. Like, because you don't want to tell people who they can and can't speak to, etc. So you don't do that. You don't have to do that. Doesn't mean they've got to unfollow you, etc. You just mute them. If they're going to continue to engage in it and you just don't want to see it, just mute them. Simple as that. Simple as that. But hey ho. Thankfully, or hopefully, people will learn from it. The developers have spoke out about it.
Hopefully
the companies have spoke out about it.
Specific section of toxic fanboys grows up.
Yep.
They really need some sort of wake up call in their lives, because gaming doesn't need to be that serious.
Oh, completely. I completely agree. Completely agree. And it needs to, you know what it is? It just needs, again, they do just need to grow up. But then it needs to stop people exacerbating the situation, and those are the people that don't want to grow up because they like winding people up. They get a kick out of it. But you stop feeding the trolls, and they've got nothing else to go for. So the easiest way to do it is just not respond to them. I used to interact with them all the time, but the moment you stop interacting with them, the moment it stops.
I just got to a point with interacting with people like that where it just became tiresome, and I just couldn't be bothered.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
I've got better things to be doing than engaging with some asshats on Twitter over fucking games. Bitching about games and plastic boxes it's tiring and boring and a whole waste of time.
Yeah. Completely agree. Completely agree. Let's talk about some of the games that we are looking forward to, though. I think that'll be nice. So Jen, let's have a look here. I think I still got, yes, we're still good. Awesome. Yeah, quite some gameplay on again in the background. Same old trailers that we put on again before, but something to watch whilst we're talking about awesome video games. Jen, there is a lot of games coming out this year. A lot of them that we're looking forward to. A lot of them we're looking forward to playing. But what are the ones that are coming to mind for yourself?
I'm looking forward to Gotham Knights, really. Really, I'm looking forward to that, as well as High on Life. I might try Overwatch 2 when it comes out, as it is free to play.
Yeah.
I did kind of get into the first one when that first came out, but I didn't spend a whole lot of time playing that. So maybe I'll give Overwatch 2 a chance.
You know, on the Xbox Insiders, you can play it early.
Can you?
Yes.
There's like an alpha out now, isn't there? Or something, an early alpha or something.
Yeah, it's essentially test it on Xbox first before it goes out to the general public. Yeah.
I might give that a whirl then. Plague's Tale Requiem.
100%.
Excited for that. I've just reinstalled a Plague's Tale so I can finish that up.
Yeah. I need to do the same, to be honest. I've to be fair, I've finished it once, but I started another game, completely forgot the storyline really behind it, and need to finish it again, just to kind of refresh my memory. So I might play through it again a little bit closer to its release date. I don't think I'll be playing it anytime soon. I think near release date.
Yeah. I'm also looking forward to Marvel's Midnight Suns. It's not like my most wanted game, but I'm gonna probably pick that up, give it a try. Those games don't usually appeal to me, but it is Marvel, so I'm bound to try it. Scorn as well, very moist, squishy game.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to playing that. Can't say I'm all that fussed about this year's Call of Duty. It just looks like another Call of Duty to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Callisto Protocol.
Of course.
Can't wait for that. That game is going to be brutal.
Which is on screen now as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Trying to think what else is coming out. There's a lot
Hogwarts,
a lot of games.
and Avatar.
As Hogwarts had a confirmed release date yet.
Not as yet, but it's still scheduled, still slated for this year.
I'm gonna say that might get delayed, to be honest. I will play that though, because that looks great.
Yeah. I know. Stuff short in the chat will not play it, but we are. Going to be the best damn dark wizard you'll have ever seen.
Oh yeah, Evil West as well. That's not a game I can
hell
forget.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Definitely Evil West.
I'll be playing that, streaming that as well, because I love me Wild West themed games.
Is Evil West just single player, or have they got a multiplayer aspect to it, like a co-op?
I read that it's got a co-op aspect to it. I'm not sure if that's true though.
That'd be fun if they do.
I think I read somewhere it's like a 2 or 3 player co-op game.
Well, that'd be good.
But don't hold me to that. I'm not 100% sure.
Good afternoon, Pat. Welcome, sir.
Oh, and Warhammer Dark Tide as well is one I'm looking forward to. That's going to Game Pass.
Yep, and on Game Pass, yeah, that's not too far away either, is it?
Nope, I think that's September.
Yeah, I think so. September.
Oh, I almost forgot Metal Hellsinger. I can't forget that.
Yes. The cheapest one of the bunch as well, outside of Game Pass.
It's a unique aspect, really. I don't play many of them like games where you sort of sync up the motion with the music.
Yeah.
But trying that demo out, it was a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, and the music was awesome. You can't get around just how great that music was. And I was like, if this is just like the demo track, like, I can't wait to hear what the rest of the tracks are like. And that's going to be like a playlist I'll save on Spotify if they release that on Spotify. It sounds absolutely
I'd imagine
awesome.
they probably will, yeah.
I know they've had a lot of people requesting it. I've seen underneath people like, Jesus Christ, we need this. Like, can you put this album or track list on Spotify? I think they will.
Yeah, I definitely think they will.
Because you've seen what the guys from...
another game, Saints Row is another game that's on my list.
See, I don't know whether or not I'll put that... I'll probably end up waiting for a deep sale on Saints Row before I play that.
See, I grew up playing all the Saints Row games, and I absolutely enjoy them, and I'm going to have to get it the day it comes out. I must have put over 1,000 hours in Saints Row 2.
Yeah.
Just running around in co-op with a mate.
Would you say Saints Row's more your Grand Theft then?
I do like Grand Theft Auto, but I think I enjoy more the silly aspects of Saints Row because it doesn't take itself seriously at all, and you can beat people to death with a giant purple dildo.
That's what you like, isn't it?
So, yeah, that's one of my favorite pastimes. I just love the wackiness of Saints Row. It's over the top silliness, and you don't get that in GTA in this day and age.
Yeah.
They used to, but they moved very far away from that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. For me, I am obviously looking forward to the Hot Wheels DLC for Forza Horizon, which comes out in 2 weeks. Looking forward to High on Life. Cannot wait for High on Life. It's one of my most anticipated games this year now, outside of Callisto Protocol.
I'm looking forward to that very much.
I can't wait. I do need to download that prequel one that went on there that I keep forgetting the name of.
Trover Saves the Universe, I think the game is.
Yeah.
I need to play that myself. I didn't even know it was on Xbox.
I know.
I think it came to VR, right? And
it was VR first, and it was ported over. Yeah. I didn't even know it was there. So, it was never mentioned.
I didn't even know about it. But yeah, I absolutely love the mind of Justin Roiland. He's a wacky character, very improvisational, and I'm a huge fan of Rick and Morty. So it's going to be a blast playing a game from the mind of Rick and Morty.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, I'll get Trover Saves the World or whatever it is first. Play that, have some fun with that, get an idea as to what to expect. Oh yeah, Shizno, Trover Saves the World is like a Rick and Morty essential. It wasn't not really a prequel, but it's It's the first kind of Rick and Morty-esque game that they put out. It was a VR game and it's on Xbox, obviously in non-VR format. If you haven't played that, it is available. I'm sure it's not expensive either. It's like less than $10 or something. But yeah, try it. I know where I'm going to at some point. I need to remind myself to download it and get it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to High on Life.
It's $24.99 on
Okay.
Xbox
Okay.
UK.
25
So
$30
probably about
$30.
$30.
Yeah, might be worth a try if you're looking forward to this one anyway. I know it's had positive reviews, so there we go. Yeah, outside of that, of course, as you know, Callisto Protocol. Evil West sprung up out of nowhere as well. As you mentioned, when I've seen the gameplay for that, it looks better and better every time I see it. Looks absolutely awesome. Also, Metal Hellsinger, of course, naturally. I'll be getting that immediately. I've already got that pre-ordered. It's only 33 quid or something like that. Comes out, I think it's September. So I can't wait for that. And of course, when we eventually get Hogwarts and Avatar release dates, they'll be on there as well. Really looking forward to both of them. Hogwarts really took me by surprise. It was just, I didn't expect it to be that big and that full of content. And that good looking. I think the look of it threw me off as well because it just looked absolutely phenomenal. Like the level of detail in that game was insane. So yeah, can't wait. I'm still intrigued as how the combat works, how all your spells work when you learn them, etc. But I'm sure we'll enjoy it nonetheless. In creating my Dark Wizard, is there a co-op element to Hogwarts?
I have no idea. It would be cool if they do have that to run around co-op with
Yeah, doing all the
with your
adventures with your
friends.
friend, because that would make more sense. If you're like meant to be students, naturally students have friends, so you would be, wouldn't you? So
Hmm. Oh, I have to Google that and find out.
I hope it is. I hope they do have co-op elements to it.
I hope there is some sort of multiplayer element. That would be interesting.
Yeah, multiplayer duels and Quidditch.
Quidditch would be fun.
Yeah. But hey. Jacob Novik says, important. Remember how Ed Boon said that the studio is working on a new game for the studio? No, not Mortal Kombat or Injustice. He wanted it. He just tweeted out a pic of an Xbox. I'm guessing that's meant to be logo. Xbox Jojo. Mojo
Yeah,
Jojo.
I just searched that as well. I think he's like just doing a clear out of his basement and he's discovering items that are in his basement.
Xbox
the-
Yo-Yo. Right, okay, now I know what you're talking. Yes, I did see that earlier. I think it was from the original Xbox launch, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It's a green yo-yo, and then he's found Nightwing costume.
Yeah.
Not Nightwolf costume. Sorry, not Nightwing. And he's found his Guitar Hero World Tour box.
I've still got my DJ Hero thing here somewhere. No, it's I know, to be honest, Ed Boon is working on something with Xbox, but I don't know what it is as yet, and I'm sure we'll find out in due course. But
If he's going to show up somewhere, it'll be at the Game Awards. He likes to make appearances there.
yeah,
Announce Mortal Kombat 11, and I think Mortal Kombat, or one of the Injustice games it might have been at.
Yeah.
One of the previous Game Awards. So, yeah, I expect him to show up there.
Yep. Yeah, well, we've got plenty more announcements yet to come this year. The Game Awards is going to be one of them. We've still got Gamescom, and we've still got the Tokyo Game Show. So there's plenty left to be talked about this year. There's plenty left to be spoken of. We know EA still have to talk about all their releases for this year, and apparently they're going to soon. That includes all of the sports titles, etc. as well. When is Jedi coming out again? Is that next year?
Early next year, right?
Yeah.
I think it's March, is it? I don't
Possibly.
think they have an actual confirmed date, though.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. We shall have to wait and see. Looking forward to it, though. Looking forward to it.
I'm interested to see what they're doing other than Jedi Survivor, because there are 2 other Star Wars games in the works at Respawn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a lot of Star Wars content coming up soon.
I wonder if they're going to do a kind of a Titanfall sort of Star Wars mashup with AT-ATs and all that.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. To be fair, I mean, they used to have like the original Battlefronts. You used to be able to pilot the AT-ATs, if you remember
Mm.
the
Yeah, I
original ones.
remember. Yeah,
You used
yeah.
to have
I
these
love the
sections where
original
you
Battlefront
had to
games.
like hook round the legs and things when you were in some of the I've forgotten some of the what they were called, maybe it was Y wings or something. I've forgotten the name of them. And you used to be able to have to hook round and drag them down and things like that. And then if you're on the opposing team, you would be shooting the cannons and things at the distance. And but yeah, it needs more like that. I think there's a lot more the Star Wars universe can give. Like an open world action adventure game with these huge set piece battles and things like that needs to
Yeah,
happen.
yeah. There's a lot more they can do in the innovation department with a Star Wars shooter.
Yeah, because as we know, like Jedi's aren't just with swords, etc. As we see him with Luke, he was a perfect candidate for an X-wing fighter pilot because he had the Force. He would be able to have foresight and things like that. He would be able to react in split seconds and do things other pilots couldn't. So it makes sense to have kind of open areas where you've got X-wings and Y fighters and all that stuff. So yeah, a lot more to give. Speaking of games, actually, one of them's on screen now, Starfield. I know everyone was like, "Oh, it looks like No Man's Sky." So I did go back and play a little bit more No Man's Sky. Still haven't played that multiplayer. I did end up, for the first time ever of playing it, end up creating a mini base, and I'm on a really cold planet that has extreme temperatures, etc. Um, it's still okay. It's an okay game. It's not amazing. But again, it's one of them games that you really have to spend a lot of time in, build up a lot of things, build up a lot of resources, build these huge bases, create communities around them, play with friends, etc., etc., etc. And it's not something that I've thought about really getting into too deeply, and I don't think I will ever get into it too deeply.
Yeah, I'm the same. I've had intentions to try it, and I've installed it, but I've never actually got to trying it again. I did play it when it originally came out, but
Yeah.
we all know how the game was back then, and it weren't great.
And stuff Sean says, No Man's Sky almost hooked me. The grind is real though. It is. The grind is really real. Really real. You get tasks like every 2 seconds. As soon as you finish a task, it gives you a new task. So you've got this. Ah, you thought you were done. No, now go and get this. Now you need to go and find these, and they're like 400 clicks away. But you need to make sure you've got enough of this to get your shield back up for these extreme temperatures, and you need to make sure you've got enough of this, and blah blah blah. Yeah, it's more about just going back and forwards and resource collecting. In the early days, I don't know what it's like in the latter days with weapons and cool skins and outfits and things because I haven't got that far. And that seems like a massive distance away from where I am right now. So, but I think
Yeah, I don't really have a lot of time for grindy games, so
yeah,
that doesn't appeal to me.
I think No Man's Sky will be a little bit less on the grind side, and not No Man's Sky, sorry. Starfield will be a little bit less on the grind side and a little bit more on the actual story side, which is really what we need. Or at least what
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Starfield. I can't wait to play it.
It's certainly better than I thought it was going to be anyway. But there we go. There we go. Jen, it's that time. Stranger Things time. I'm going to ditch out the gameplay now, go back to our awesome selves. We're going to talk about Stranger Things Season 4 spoiler-free review. First of all, Jen, what are your thoughts on Season 4 against all of the previous seasons of Stranger Things? What's your overall thoughts on it?
I've seen a lot of people complain about like how the episodes were too long, but I personally loved that. I thought that was great. It gave us more time with newer characters, older characters that we wanted to learn a bit more about. I absolutely loved that. The actors, all of them, every single actor. There's not a bad actor in this show, and that's a very rare thing to accomplish. Is getting a TV show with perfect casting, and all of them did their job, and then some.
Yeah.
But you could feel the emotion in some of the scenes, and some of the scenes reduced me to tears. I think it's the best season of Stranger Things so far. Season 2, because I recently rewatched it all again, and
Yeah.
season 2 is where I was like, oh, I didn't remember this. So season 2 wasn't really that memorable for me.
Yeah.
But in comparison to the 2 other seasons, disregarding season 2 because it's a season I didn't find so memorable.
It's because
Yeah, I think
of the whole
it's the best
runaway story.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of
It felt out of
plots in
place.
season 2 as well that didn't feel like they were going anywhere.
Yeah. The runaway section didn't really feel like it had a real place in it. I understand why she run away, but the whole I'm your sister, join this gang. I was like, what?
Yeah, that felt weird. But season 4, man, it was so good. It is so hard to speak about season 4 without spoilers.
Yeah.
Because there's so much that happens in it, and it's got possibly one of the greatest villains of all time in it, and there's some twists and turns in there that blew my mind. I was like, holy shit, no way. I was literally about to say it then, but I had to stop myself. Vecna one, it's just an amazing villain. Like the way they portray that character, and the guy acts and puts like he's sort of, you can feel that he put his full chest into those acting sequences, like to extend the power of his voice.
And the thing is, as well, like when he is doing the villain scenes, he doesn't need to resort to shouting or screaming or anything to get his point across and look and be evil. He's very calm and methodical.
Yeah, and that in some ways is more intimidating than some other villains. Like people say Darth Vader is the greatest villain ever in TV and film.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go out on a whim and say Vecna's better.
I mean, for those, there's an easy synopsis for those who haven't seen season 4 yet, and I know I'm waiting to watch it. I've seen Fanto Sir saying he's getting Netflix this month just for season 4. Definitely. A quick synopsis on Vecna. His essential power in this is strictly, should we say, making the person's worst nightmares come true, using hallucinations in order to trick them into succumbing to their deaths. He's quite a brutal villain. Whilst in his mind, his area, his world, the person doesn't feel any suffering or pain. They just cease to be. In the real world, it's very much a different story. Extremely brutal.
Oh yeah, really brutal.
Extremely brutal. He's a very should we? I wouldn't say psychotic. He's a very damaged person.
Very sort of dark and sinister and
Yeah.
and
It's the way the world's
kind of
turned out and
quiet
wants
villain.
to make it his
Yeah.
way. That's essentially what it is. It hates the way the world's turned out and wants to change it into what he thinks it should be. But what I really liked about it, was the way that they showed his entire backstory in season 4. Because
Yeah.
of course you've never technically seen Vecna throughout season 1, 2, or 3, and I can't say any more than that, and anybody in chat will know what I mean why I can't say any more than that for those who haven't seen season 4. But you haven't technically seen Vecna at all in 1 to 3. So you've never heard of him before. But his showing of his backstory and the explanation behind it, etc., in season 4 was also very awesome to see how it came to be and how everything unfolded. And I think we've got to give props as well to the writers on this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
How they've managed to, from
because
season 1 to 4,
usually pan out well. Those like, this is the character, sort of been there in the shadows this whole time.
it's
Those
essentially,
types of things.
yeah,
They sometimes fall flat.
it's essentially I just like how they've managed, without causing any issues, tied up the entire storyline and all of the villains from season 1 through season 4 without it feeling misplaced. Like the entirety of the collection, season 1 to 4, once you've seen the end of season 4, then the rest of it just, it's like, oh, oh, okay. Okay, that makes the rest of it even more interesting than it ever has been. Because once you've seen season 4, then season 3, 2, and 1 makes even more sense.
Yeah, I'd say it's one of the best twists that I've ever experienced in any form of media.
Yeah. I think some of the scenes are extremely powerful as well. And I said this to you after seeing season 4, but I think, for me, the best show trailer that has ever been created was season 4 trailer 1 for Stranger Things. Is the best trailer for a show I have ever seen.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I cannot think of a trailer that has done that better. Like, the music fits absolutely perfectly. It summarizes in that trailer, the heartbreak for Max and her brother at the very beginning. It shows you what's happening over in Russia. It shows you what's happening, or what happens to those who get involved with Vecna. And it actually shows the main villain on that as well, without really telling too much about it. It's like, here he is. Here's the villain. And you're like, who the fuck's this guy? But then the music, and then you hear the awesome guitar riff by Eddie, who's an awesome new addition to the series as well.
I love that character.
It's just insane. Stuff Sean says Matthew Modine Brenner plays his part to perfection as well. I agree. And you know what it is? The Russian guy, not the absolute Fruit Loop. And people who watch the show, you'll understand. The other guy who's in prison with him.
Yeah.
I really liked him as well.
When I first watched season 4 and he showed up, I sat there and I thought, who the hell is this guy?
I recognised his face and I can't picture where from.
He's in Game of Thrones.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's one of the assassins, the one that Arya interacts with, the many-face assassins.
Oh. A man with no face. Oh, okay. Right. No, I didn't picture that.
Yeah, I didn't realise it until I saw it on social media. Someone said that it was him. It's like, oh shit, that is him. I don't think I've ever seen a TV show or film execute cast as perfect as they did with this. The cast is phenomenal.
Yeah, there was a few moments in the show as well, and I can't speak on them because they're spoilers. Specifically the finale. There's a moment in the finale where what's his face? Max's partner. What's his name? Was it Lucas? No?
Yeah, Lucas.
Yeah, Lucas. He improvises a line in the finale that was not meant to be there. He improvised it whilst he was acting, and it fit. There was also an improvisation where Mike's mother and Brenner kiss, and that was improvised. That was not in the script. There's certain sections in there that just make that elevate the show a little bit more. It's just the certain scenes, and like you say, there was, without going into spoilers, there were certain scenes that were that well acted that they were very emotional, even though it's a sci-fi show about monsters and things like that. It was just the way they've built these characters up, and even the way they've built certain characters up through lesser seasons and things like that. Like, when people have watched the original kind of Stranger Things and things, and they killed Bob off, like, immediately. Well, Bob.
There's a few scenes in the last 2 episodes with Will, and they were like really done well. Like, they hit you in the feels so hard.
Yeah. And I hope his story kind of finishes and ends well in season 5, because he's really struggling. He's putting like everybody else first before himself.
Oh, it's such a good show, and I'd already started binge watching it again, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I finished it, I started it from beginning again.
It was awesome. I watched the finale twice in the same day. I watched the finale, had a little bit of a break, and then just watched it again. I couldn't help myself. I was like, no, I need to watch this again. Like, that was such an epic finale. It was a 2.5-hour finale as well. So
yeah, it was like a feature film.
You've got episodes 1 to 7. Yeah, 1 to 7 are part 1 of season 4. And then you've got episodes 8 and 9. Episode 8 is 1 hour and a half. Episode 9 is 2 hours 20 minutes. Beastly episodes, but hats off to them. The finale does not feel like 2.5 hours.
All the episodes in season 4 are above 60 minutes.
Yep. But that final episode does not feel like 2.5 hours. At all. Like, I don't know how they've managed to get all of that in and not make it feel like it's rushed, but also not make it feel like it's dragging.
Yeah, because you get a lot of TV shows like The Walking Dead that do a lot of padding in their seasons, and well, we all know what happened with The Walking Dead. It went downhill.
And that's another thing that we can praise.
Much I mention Walking Dead once a week.
Yeah.
And how bad it is.
It's another thing we can praise the Stranger Things guys for, because they have said, essentially, we were trying to get it all done within 4 seasons, but the way the story was shot and the way we did the videos and things, it wasn't possible. So we've had to do a season 5 to finish the story, and that will be the final season of this Stranger Things story. They said they've got a lot of stories to tell in the Stranger Things universe, but it won't have anything to do with these characters. So it won't be anything to do with this story. Thankfully, which means that this will just be, once season 5 is done, that wraps up everything to do with these guys. Everything to do with Hawkins. And essentially it all boils down to what happens in Hawkins. So I think, for me, that's perfect. Because sometimes we do need shows where they come to their natural conclusions. Their stories are finished, and then they live heavily ever after, or whatever it is.
Perfect example is, again, The Walking Dead. It's gone for 11 seasons, and season 11 is its largest season by like 24 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And stuff.
I like it when a show doesn't overstay its welcome.
Yeah, and this is. I think this is perfect welcome, because we now know specifically in season 4 that everything he's wrote about from seasons 1 to 3 have all actually tied into everything to do with the main plot. So there has been an underlying main plot all the way, and this is not just talking about Elle. We're talking there has been an underlying plot from start to finish that will come to a natural conclusion in season 5, and that is the end. And there's no other series that I know of that does that, because, like you say, The Walking Dead, the plot's disappeared. Like, the original plot vanished ages ago. The original plot disappeared in like season 6.
Yeah, and then you got the fact that The Walking Dead isn't the isn't the main show anymore. Well, not there's the main show that's ending,
Yeah.
but there's like 4 spin-offs in the works, and they've got TV movies in the works for Rick Grimes, and it's like it's oversaturated with The Walking Dead, and you don't get that with Stranger Things. It
No.
is what it is. It's the story they wanted to tell, and they might do a Stranger Things project in the future, but it's going to have nothing to do with the Stranger Things that will end with season 5.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Shout out to Sourblore. Hello there, sir. And another one from Stuff Sean here says, true test for me was I was unsure if I should let my 8-year-old watch it. Then I remember watching Poltergeist as a child and saying, fuck it. She loves it, and although she is scared, she loves it. She will. She will. I'm guessing she hasn't got up to season 4 yet. Oh, God help her when she's at season 4. Get the nighttime, the fresh blankets and covers and everything ready for the bed on nighttime then. To be scared shitless. Oh, I would have been at that age. Vecna's horrifying.
Yeah, I was watching horror movies at that age, like zombie movies and all that. I was watching as a kid, so.
I know, but you've got to think as well, Vecna, though. What he does to his victims is friggin' horrific.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Just finished season 1 the day before dinner, bless her. Well, I hope she enjoys the rest of it. Of course, there's another 3 seasons of it being relatively normal. Before season 4 really fucks her head up. Before the nightmares begin. Oh dear me. But no, it's awesome, and then they've even said, thankfully, for the Stranger Things fans out there, it shouldn't be anywhere near as long as a wait as we had last time. Mainly because, of course, they had a 6-month stop of production due to COVID, where they couldn't do anything. Which put a massive spanner in the works. And of course, that isn't just a normal 6 months. That is 6 months without doing anything. And then, of course, after completing those scenes, then you've got to get into post-production. And then you've got to start with the actual work. The acting part's kind of the easiest section for them. It's getting the actors on stage and getting the scenes done. The harder part for them is the post-production, because there's a lot of CGI, a lot of effects, a lot of things that need to go into it that they can't do straight away. So once it's pushed back by 6 months, that's technically about a year or so for the production that goes into it afterwards. So thankfully, because they don't have that roadblock anymore, we're likely to see it, I would imagine, beginning of 24. The script's already roughly capped out. They've already sent it to the producers. And according to them, the Duffer Brothers, the Netflix hierarchy, were crying at the script for season 5. They said they don't know whether or not it was because it was the finale and the absolute ultimate end to Stranger Things, or whether it was just the script. But there were tears shed by the execs, and they said they haven't seen any executives do that before. So I think that speaks volumes. They didn't mention that before season 4. So if season 4, the execs kind of said it, but they didn't shed tears and things like that. Even though for us, the consumer, there was very, very much tear-worthy sections. I think season 5 making execs cry probably probably stands firm to being potentially an ultimate end to the series.
Yeah. I think a lot of it comes down to that sinking feeling when you know that it's coming to an end and it's not going to be around for the next year or the year after. That's an unsettling feeling sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially when something's so good and you've grown attached to it. So it's a feeling that hits you hard.
Yeah, definitely. And stuff Sean says again. You watch the Max Kate Bush scene and now loves Kate Bush. Oh dear me. But yeah, it's overall I've got to agree with you, Jen. Season 4 was by far, I think, the best out of all the seasons so far. By a long shot.
Definitely. My dad's still got to watch the final 2 episodes. He's been working, so he's not had the chance to watch it. So it'll be interesting to see his reaction to those 2 episodes.
I
So
think
he
you.
got me into Stranger Things, and
Oh,
when he initially watched it, I didn't get into it. I was like, I can't watch this. It's not for me. And then I gave it a second chance, and that's when I got into it. I had the same thing. I did the same thing with Game of Thrones. I tried to watch Game of Thrones when it first came out. Didn't enjoy it at all. The first episode, couldn't stand it. But like, I think it was when season 3 was coming out. I gave it another chance, and I got into it proper. I did similar thing with Stranger Things, only I didn't wait as long to get into it, and then I ended up falling in love with the show.
I think it was on the back of me pestering you to watch it as well.
See, I'd already got into Stranger Things before then.
Yeah, no, that you need to get back to it. You need to go
It
back,
was
go
when
back and watch
season
it.
2 was coming out. It's when I got back into it. But yeah, I fucking love the show. It's so good.
It is, and like you say, it's for. I know you're not an '80s kid. Being an '80s kid, and of course I know Sean's earlier than an '80s kid, but he had more of an adult life in the '80s, so he kind of appreciates that a bit more. It's the '80s vibe around it as well that always gets me. Like I just love.
It's funny you say that. I love the 80s vibe as well.
Yeah,
And I'm not even born in the 80s. I was born in the 90s.
but it's like the music
it's
and everything
weird.
that went
Yeah.
with it. It just feels so nostalgic.
Yeah. But growing up, I didn't listen to any music like that. But now that I'm older, I can appreciate it more.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And Sean said, obviously, you two convinced me to watch Stranger Things, and I bet you're glad you did now.
I just love that 80s sort of vibe with synthwave music as well. It's like even in my streams, I have the starting streams and I have the sort of 80s synthwave music playing in the background.
Yeah,
I love that music. I have done for quite a long time now. It's something that I just throw on in the background and just chill to.
oh, 100%, 100%. Fanto Sarah as well says, reminds me of the South Shields arcades. To be fair, Fanto, they haven't changed. They've just added to them. They still look exactly the same as they ever did. I don't think they'll ever change them, to be fair. They're pretty neglected, like. They keep the power on, but they're pretty much the same stuff we always did. It's funny. But yeah, it's like, again, the music's awesome. We had Master of the Puppets on there as well, which was awesome to hear. And to be fair, when you think about the track that they used, Master of Puppets was the perfect track for that segment with Vecna, because he is the Master of Puppets.
Yep.
And so it actually, when I thought about the track that they used, I was like, that's so well done, actually. Like, of course he's going to play Master of Puppets whilst he's trying to, like, whilst he's standing on top of the caravan. That's like the perfect track to use. It fits so well. Fit really well. Oh, dear me.
Such a great show, man. Such a great show.
It is. And then we both said this the other day as well. It's going to be a damn shame when that show comes to its conclusion, because we know we're not. That's it. It's all
It's
done.
going to be a sad moment watching that last episode and then coming to the realization as the episode closes that it's all over.
We might have to do a watch party for the finale with a box of tissues. Yeah, it's like I say, when I watched this one, I was like, it was just that realization of next season's the last one. That's it. Now we know what's happening. We know it's gonna get wild in that last season. It's gonna get really wild in that last season. And it is
so many great TV shows out there lately, though. But Stranger Things is the crown and king of great TV shows.
I've just never seen any TV show do it to the same, like, every one of them is like movie quality. Every episode is like movie
this
quality.
Last season with the budget they had.
It's insane.
This last season, so well done, and there's some really good scenes that, like, the camera, the way they use the camera is very movie-like as well.
Yeah,
You don't always get those camera angles in TV shows. It's something that's sort of neglected, and they really did put the cinematic value into this.
and that's let alone the CGI. And of course, when people see the victim, the villain Vecna, A lot of people think that's all CGI, but it's actually a full bodysuit.
Oh yeah.
If you've seen
Yeah.
the social
I think I
media
sent
thing
you
for Stranger
a,
Things, that is
a video of it.
that is the main actor that plays Vecna in the bodysuit,
Yep.
fully dressed up as Vecna.
I'd hate to know how long in total it takes to put that suit on.
He'd be hellishly warm. He's so warm.
I don't envy him.
Nope.
I would not want to be in all that clobber for however many hours they're shooting.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Of course, he added a little bit of CGI to it because there's sections on his neck and things that are constantly moving, like weird vein, like liquidy vein things that are always moving around. And obviously, even though he's got them on his outfit that he's wearing, they don't move around, so naturally CGI applied to that as well. But the rest of it's just next level. It is movie quality CGI, movie quality camera work, movie quality acting. The story.
To be honest, some of the CGI in this is better than some of the CGI you get in a huge budget Marvel movie.
Oh yeah, 100%. The CGI in this was better than the CGI in. To me, better than the CGI in Uncharted. I watched Uncharted and I thought Uncharted CGI was a bit lackluster.
I don't know if you've seen the trailer for the She-Hulk TV series that's coming to Disney+.
Oh god, yes.
How can they have such bad CGI in a Marvel TV show and something like Stranger Things has to embarrass it and go, look at our budget?
It's, you know what it is though, it's, you've got to think as well for the Duffer Brothers. I don't know who they have got as their post-production animators and things like that for all this CG work, because they are next level creators. And they're obviously not working for the likes of Marvel. They're obviously not working for the likes of DC or any of these big guys or Disney.
Well,
like,
this is how bad
none
it
of
is.
Like no other. And I know Netflix has got mega money to spend on shows. I've seen some awesome shows from Netflix and awesome films from Netflix over the last couple of years that some people don't like as much, but even they, I think, personally don't have some of the CGI guys available that have done what these guys have done in Stranger Things.
Yeah. But like, the way I can put it perfectly is with Disney, and I don't know what it is over there with their CGI team, but have you seen any of The Mandalorian?
Yes.
You've seen the scene where Luke Skywalker comes to collect a child, right?
Yeah.
The CGI in that scene, not very good. It took a YouTuber to make that CGI better, and then they hired that YouTuber. Like, there's animators out there that do stuff like that on YouTube all the time. You could take your pick. Go to them.
Yep.
Don't wait for them to come to you. It took a YouTuber, a bloody YouTuber that took that scene and made it more realistic. And then they hired him. That's kind of embarrassing when you're a multi-million-dollar company that a YouTuber has to come out and do better than you.
But it also shows the discrepancies in, and this is the problem with a lot of these modern gaming and movie places as well, is the vast majority of the time they look at hiring people based on their qualifications or a certificate that they've got from a school or a college, etc., not on what they're capable of. A lot of these people that are doing this on YouTube do not have qualifications or certificates. They're self-taught. So they will naturally overlook these people in a general recruitment role because they're not looking for that. They're looking for certificates that say this person's trained to do this. This person has experience in doing this. They don't look at the person to say, well, what are you actually capable of? And that's a problem with modern recruiting anyway, across the board. It's a case of looking at someone's certificates and not looking at their capabilities.
Yeah. Look at their portfolio of work rather than their...
Yeah, and the vast majority of artists these days are all self-taught. Completely self-taught. Got nothing to do with schooling at all. At all. Like, I learned...
Yeah, they do it as a passion.
Yeah, I learned content creation. I learned art. I learned the full Adobe suite and everything by myself.
Mm-hmm.
By myself, of my own back in my own time.
video editing, I just learned it myself.
Yeah.
YouTube is a great place for learning.
Yeah.
You want to learn something, type it in YouTube. I'm sure you'll find a way to
Yeah.
learn it.
How do I get this to do this? Then the guy got a nice little tutorial. This is how you do this and this and this, and you can change it to do this and this and this. And these are the scripts you need to put in order for it to do this, this, and this. Brilliant, thanks, mate. Once you've learnt it, once you've done it a couple of times, it's then second nature. Poof, you're off. Sweet. But it's people that can do it off their own back, and this is what, like say, schooling's completely irrelevant for 99% of the time now. If someone really wants to do something, they can self-teach themselves everything without a certificate and do better than those that have a certificate, because those people that have the certificate have done the research and the work just to have the certificate. They haven't put it into practice. They've learnt what it is on a book, they've typed it down into a thing to talk about the theory behind X, Y, and Z, but they haven't went out and day after day, week after week, month after month, practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced and got and learnt the relevant skills to the point where it actually is more beneficial than going to school. That's not to say don't go to school, because you still should for certain aspects. But later education, university, etc., a lot of the stuff you can do better yourself.
Yeah, a lot of schools don't have those types of programs for people that want to do video editing or animation or stuff like that. It's a shame, because those are the types of things that a lot of people nowadays love.
Yeah.
They watch a TV show and then they get inspired by it, and that's something they want to pursue a career in.
Yeah.
And there's not enough out there being done in schools to help students realize their potential.
Yep. And one thing I like about, we'll have to shout out as well, the guys behind Unreal Engine. I have to shout them out as well, because they've got a completely open source Unreal Engine. You can use it for anything from creating videos or games, whatever you want to do. Their payment terms are insane. So you can create a game, put it out on the shelf, and as long as it basically anything, if you earn £1 million from it, they don't charge you until you've made over £1,000,001. In which case they take a small percentage. Anything before that million is all yours. All yours.
That's not bad.
Which is insane. Someone, an indie dev, can put out a game created using Unreal Engine 5 or a video created using Unreal Engine 5. It makes £500,000 and that's all his.
That's pretty cool.
That is the power of some of these tools, and that means someone could self-teach themselves, and you can go on to it. They've got FAQs, they've got little seminars, they've got things that help you kind of learn the system and things like that. Learn the tool, learn the development processes and things like that. So you can go and self-teach yourself how to use Unreal Engine 5, how to create games, how to do X, Y, and Z. You can do all of that by yourself, create something and make money from it without them taking a single penny from you until £1 million, which is insane. The fact that someone can go out, do that, self-teach themselves, have the tools available to them for free, and not have to worry about funding to do that is insane. That's the type of stuff that the kids need to hear about now.
Yep.
But they don't. Like, there's no one that's went into school and said, what do you want to be? I want to create video games. Do you know how you're going to get there? How are you going to get there? What is it that you've been told you need to get there?
Yep. The thing about schools these days, they don't help any students to fulfill their true potential.
Yeah. There's Fanto Sir as well, says, remember the days when you'd ask your mate about a question about pop culture or whatever and they didn't know the answer? That was just the end of it. You didn't have to know. Exactly. You mean before the internet? Exactly. No one knew. When no one knew and you didn't have the internet to search it, that was it. Question over. No idea. Now, the internet is so full of information, someone could self-teach themselves everything that any master's degree person would know without going to university, save all the money, but the only difference is that person has a certificate to say that they've learned it, and the person that also knows it, that didn't go to university, does not have a certificate. And that person on the other side with the certificate will get a job, but the person that knows exactly the same amount of information, but can also put it into practice because they've self-taught, will not get that job. There's such a backwards fucking world we're living in. So backwards. So it winds us up,
Yep.
like, it winds up, I mean, for us, the more we podcast as well, the more you pick up on certain radio traits where you think, how are these people in radio? How are these people, like, doing podcasts and things? Because they're clearly not self-taught. It's something that they've went to school for. And you can tell it by such the inane questions and things that they ask some of the guests and things that they get on. I'm sure if you've ever listened to the radio, you'll know what I mean, where they've got these talk shows and ask them really fucking stupid questions.
Oh yeah. I stopped
they
listening to
had,
radio a long time ago.
It was like an astronaut. I've forgotten it was an English astronaut on the radio the other day, and they were asking him like really fucking stupid basic questions about space. And I was like, really? Like, of all the questions you could ask, you're gonna ask him, "Oh, what's it like doing this in space?" Fucking really, mate. That's the most relevant question you could ask. Like, oh, dear God. Like, basic interview techniques, being able to talk to people, or being able to talk to people on the outside, being able to have a good conversation with your listeners or even your guest. It's a two-way conversation. It's not just ask them nine questions. These are self-taught people. I know podcasters that do a better... Yeah, it was Tim Peake, you're right. I think Sean probably heard the interview. You'll know what I'm talking about as well. But... yeah, we've seen it. We know a lot of podcasters that will do a hell of a better job at presenting radio stations and podcasts than mainstream podcasters and hosts for talk shows can do. And these are all self-taught people. But what can we do? Like you say, it's myself and yourself and all of these awesome creators that we've met are all self-taught. And again, we pay it forward. Anybody who wants to ask or know how to do certain things or how do I do this, how do I do that, you help each other. So everyone can grow that way.
Like, you know, Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
There's a reason I don't like Mr. Beast. And there was a podcast he was on, and it was kind of disrespectful to people that edit their own videos. And that really pissed me off. It's like, okay, but we all can't be as rich as you and have
can't pay someone
the money
to do
you've
it.
got to pay an editor. Some of us have to do it ourselves, learn to do it ourselves, or some of us actually enjoy doing it ourselves.
Yep. I would never, as much as I would love to be able to free up enough time and say, oh, God, here's some footage, here's my editor, go and create this. Nah.
Yeah.
Because then it feels like I haven't
going to edit a video.
It also feels at that point.
Edit the video.
I was going to say it feels at that point as well that I haven't created that content.
Yeah. I fully get that. I don't think I'd ever hire an editor. If I had the money, I wouldn't do it. I'd rather do it myself because I know what I want to go into the edit. I know my editing style. And there's no one that's going to edit your video as good as you.
Yeah.
Because you know the way you want it done.
Exactly. The only thing I would ever get someone in to help edit with is stuff that I'm not good with. And that would be like, you know, them daft like highlight reel things that people do with the fucking mad like well-timed music and shit. But we've got so many creators in the collective now that I'd love to showcase properly, but I would like to do it the right way, and I don't think I have in my thought logic and thought process, have the capability to create something that would envision what I think of. And obviously when we're talking about the collective, we're talking about all the Twitch streamers that have funny moments and that we've got, like stuff Sean and Pluck and Patcher and Mick and everybody that does all these awesome Twitch streams. Yourself included as well, and being able to collect all their funny moments from their streams, and they then are YouTubers and all their funny moments and funny point of views and things from the podcasts and things that they do. And it would just be collecting all of these things, but then with all of these awesome clips, how do you put them together? And that's the hardest part, is how do I put these together so it works? I think that's the only thing that would stop me from doing that. That's quite. It's insane. But yeah, we've got our artist as well. Of course, we both use the same artist.
Yep, I wouldn't use anyone else.
Yeah, he's awesome. I would keep it that way. Awesome guy. He's an awesome friend. He's done a lot for us. He's always been there to help us out and create our visions together. And I know going forward in the future as well, the vision grows and the group grows together. Of course, the vision will only expand and get better. And I know Sean's going to be right there, kind of helping us deliver that vision as well.
Yep, I wouldn't want anyone else working on stuff for me. It's like you get these people on Twitter that try and slide into your DMs and go, "Oh, you want anything done?" And I'm just like, no. If I wanted something done, I'd go to the artist I always use.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. Sean's doing stuff for my comic at the moment that I'm working on.
Sour Blow, you're an awesome artist, brother. I'm not talking about that, you daft sod. No, you do awesome work for the Xbox International crew. Awesome stuff you've got over there as well. But keep it up. Keep it up. It doesn't go unnoticed. You're doing a stellar job. No, across the board, like you say, Sean's been awesome. He really helps with the vision and everything like that for both of us, for what you've got planned for your vision, for your comic, and for your channel. And for me, for the collective, for Weekend Edition, for the podcast, for self-streaming, for everything in between, the intros, the outros, the transitions. So much work goes into it. So many costs go into it as well. Let's not forget that, because work isn't free.
Yep.
And that's...
I must have spent maybe a grand on stuff from Sean so far, and I don't intend to stop it anytime soon.
Yeah, I know the feeling. And this is another reason why I love this community as well, for the support and the members, the channel members we've got as well, because guys, every member we have, all the super chats we have, literally everything goes back into enhancing this channel, making it better, keeping the lights on, keeping this thing running as high quality as we possibly can, and helping it grow. So all the changes that you're seeing, all the new intros, the outros, the overlays, and everything in between, all the content we produce is solely down to the fact that you support us on a month-by-month basis, and all these super chats and everything help pay towards the new overlays, help pay towards new graphics, help pay towards equipment to make the show run better and better content. So everything we do couldn't really have been done without the community in the first place. To really make a podcast, or to help a podcast and a community and a community and a project like this grow, a channel grow, like Jen's doing off his own back currently, and obviously with the whatever Twitch donations he gets and things like that, everything we get just goes straight back into this to create better content for you guys, so that we can just get better and better as time goes on. And that's exactly why we love our community and try to give back as much as we can, and talk to you guys and interact with you guys as much as we can. Because again, without the community, it wouldn't be a week-by-week podcast, or if it did, it would just still be that plain old grey background with a couple of cameras and the free StreamYard thing at the top. And that would be it, because it would be free and there's nothing else we'd have done to the channel. Because it all boils down to money. Of course, on a monthly basis, I've got StreamYard outlays, I've got Adobe outlays for effects, Adobe After Effects and Adobe Premiere Pro. So there's almost 70 quid, 80 quid a month just for that. Additionals, you've got, again, paying towards other things, that whether it be the internet, whether it be Steam Decks, or equipment like microphones or lights, or anything that enhances and makes the show better, or graphics or overlays, whatever it is, that's all thanks to the community.
Yeah, I love this community. They're so supportive, and like, a lot of the community supported me with Twitch and doing my YouTube as well, which I'm not doing so much these days, but I do have plans to return to doing stuff on YouTube. But mostly I'm streaming nowadays, though, and I love that. Streaming has become a happy place for me. To act an idiot, to be silly, playing Hunt Showdown is a blast, and the community engaging in the chat, doing silly sound effects. It really, does help a lot with my mental health, and seeing that support and love from the community is something I'm gonna hold dear to my heart for a very long time. I've been pretty much streaming solidly for 3 months, and I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. Obviously, I haven't been able to stream this week because
Of
I was
COVID.
hit with COVID-19.
Because of the Rona. My
Yeah.
Rona.
Yeah, I was hit with the old Rona. But I'm back tomorrow. I'm back tomorrow on Alien Isolation, and that's going to be a good time.
100%, 100%. And again, it's about helping people grow. And the awesome thing about what we've seen over the last 12 months specifically is the amount of people that we've got into streaming. And they've loved it. They've settled in really well. They enjoy it. They're breaking out of their shell a little bit better. They've become more confident in themselves. Whether that be Paul AFC, whether that be Stuffed Sean, whether that be Fantoser, who I know you're going to start streaming soon. That's going to be awesome. Whether it be General C, whether it be Patya, whether it be Emil, whether it be Hertog Vin, whoever. Like, we've got so many awesome people that have come out of their shell, got a little bit more of a confidence boost. Streaming now.
Like specifically myself, I owe a lot of that to Midweek Mix Up and you bringing me on the show and making me more of a temporary panel member on the main show, and then with this as a co-host, and I really appreciate you giving me this space to find myself, to find my confidence. And I really appreciate that because I've been able to take that, what I've learned from being on here and previous episodes, and I've applied that to my Twitch, and I've really opened up a lot. I never thought I would, but here I am now.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is, and for us, and it always will be the same. And I'm sure Jen knows this, and Jen does this as well. But for us, it's all about paying it forward. So for the support that you guys show us, we'll always pay it forward to try and help you guys. Whether that be you want to try your help up yourself at podcasting, we'll get you on and see how you like it. Whether or not you like podcasting, whether or not you don't. Whether you want to try streaming for a change, we'll be supportive and help you try to grow that and get yourself to affiliate. So at least you're on step one. So many things that we can try and do to help you kind of be confident, and we'll always give you the tips and techniques and things, the little things that you can do for as cheap as possible to make it as good as possible. Like I've mentioned countless times for streaming, like I've got some cheap ring lights here. I think the £10 ring light over there and like a cheap £10-15 ring light over here. But that just like you can have a shit camera, like 720p. If you've got a couple of cheap ring lights on either side of you, like if I turn this off, you'll see what I mean without the ring lights. This is what your camera looks like without ring lights.
I'm exactly the same. My camera isn't the best, but getting those key lights have really improved the look from the camera. I'm going to upgrade the camera at some point when I got a bit more money to play around with. Yes, there's plenty of free services out there that you can use if you're looking at getting into streaming.
100%.
Give a try. Give Canva a try.
Yeah,
it's a free service. You can pay VIP membership for that and get a whole bunch more stuff, but the free version of Canva is pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, just even if you want information on how to stream and all that, just I'm sure me and Dutch wouldn't mind you DMing us.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
Or just tweet us or whatever and ask for that information.
Yeah. And I think
There's
at
plenty of
some
us that
point
can
this
help
week
you
as
out.
well, I'm sitting down with the XBI guys as well to kind of go through a few things. With Sourblow and Louis and Cypher, I think we're gonna go through a few things and have a chat about certain things that they want to questions and answers for, or hints and tips. But that's it. Like, hit us up and we'll set up whether it be a Discord chat or Xbox party chat or whatever it is. We'll figure it out and we'll have a chat and try and help you grow where you want to be. I know we're probably going to get Fanto on the podcast at some point as well. Try his hand at podcasting. And get
Hardest thing with anything content creation is taking that first step.
yeah.
Once you've taken that first step, it becomes so much easier.
Yeah, yeah. And don't be scared to show your face. Like, a lot of people are very, like, the one thing that they're scared of is showing their face. They might think their age can detract from a stream, whether that be young or old. They might think that's a stumbling block, but it isn't. They might think,
Oh, I was exactly the same. I was adamant I wasn't ever going to go on camera, and I started going on camera.
yep. They might think it's a stumbling block, but at the end of the day, it's it's not. Like, people like enjoy you for you, and as long as the person is true to themselves and is themselves, you will always um you will always find your community grows with you. So be true. As long as you're true to yourself, be who you are. No one's gonna make fun of you. The people that aren't worth your time, so just ignore them.
And the people that are usually hiding behind the keyboard, and they don't
Yeah,
have a profile picture themselves. So
exactly,
just ignore those ones.
exactly. So don't
You're
let
always going to get haters no matter what, but they can be silenced pretty easily.
yeah. Never let your age, your gender, or anything detract from your streams. You can be young, you can be old. If you want to give it a go, give it a go. Like, taking that first step, as Jen said, is the most difficult thing. Once you've got over that first step, you'll be surprised how much you enjoy it. I think Jen knew that as well.
Definitely.
Like, you were kind of in and out of little podcasts and doing things with Gamers Watch for a little bit, and then when you come on our
Yeah.
show and you said, "I'm going to put the camera on for the first time," we're like, "Yep, go for it," and you've never looked back.
Mhm. There are a few times when I don't have the camera on, and that's either if I'm not well or if I'm just having a bad day. But most of the time, I'm on camera these days.
Yeah. Sourblow has a super chat for you. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Sourblow. He says, make small clips explaining your comic like a diary. That would be awesome. Good luck.
I am planning on working on that. I'm getting more stuff like designs done from Sean Labrie, and I'm going to be putting some small videos together explaining the comic. I do intend to do a Kickstarter for that, but that's like a ways out yet, like
Yeah,
a year plus before I'm even considering that. I want to put as much as my own money into it before I even attempt to kickstart it, because
yeah.
I want stuff to show that
Before, yeah,
is appealing,
yeah.
not just like a couple of things that some other people do with Kickstarters. I want to have a hefty amount of content to show to get people interested.
Definitely. 100%. And one thing I've already said it as well. I'm going to hook him up with Everborn as well, because obviously, if people don't know, Everborn Saga has his own comics, his own awesome anime comics as well. Unbelievable artwork on there, really great story, really well done as well. He's super successful. He did exactly the same as what Jen's doing. So he started off with the creation of a concept. He had enough to show off, and then he kickstarted it. And he got his Kickstart backers and things like that, and then he was able to release kind of the rest of
Yeah,
the work.
that's pretty much where I'm at with it. I'm getting characters designed and coming up with like the story and all that. Well, I've got a main concept for the story, but expanding from that is what I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah,
As with anything big and universe building, things take time, and I've got to put the lore together and make sure it all comes across good. I've got to keep track of characters and such, and who they interact with, and just all those sort of things. It's a big task, but it's something that I've always had a dream to do. So it's something I'm I'm gonna hopefully get kick-started within the next year or two.
Yeah. It's going to be awesome, and again, it's step by step, little by little, we get towards the goals, and then we add another goal, and then we add another goal, and we add another goal. But it's always just taking it one step at a time. The first goal for anybody to get into content creation is to make that first step.
Yep, exactly.
That's the first goal.
First step, as much as it might be nerve-wracking, once you get that first step out of the way, it's plain sailing from that point.
Then you add another goal. You don't go like way into the sky, because this is the mistake a lot of kids make these days as well. Is
you build yourself up to things.
They see a popular YouTuber and they think, I want to make loads of money doing YouTube like him. Don't think of it that way. Never think of it that way. It's not that easy. It's definitely not that easy.
Yeah. Well, the one piece of advice I'd give there is treat it as a hobby.
Yeah.
If it's something you love, treat it as a hobby first. Yeah. And if it's a passion, it's easier when it's a passion. Like we take our passion for gaming and we talk about it on a show.
Yeah, exactly. It's one step at a time. The first step is always making that start. Once you've made that start, you've got used to it. You've got used to being on camera. You've got used to doing this. The next step is, right, how can I make this look better? So then you add a little bit of flair to it, and then you think of what kind of content am I going to be doing going forward? What content do I want to make? Try not to make it so it's content that you think other people want to see, because you never end up enjoying it. When you start making content, when you start making content for the benefit of other people, as opposed to content that you want to make, then it shows in the content. When you start making content that you love and you love making, then your enthusiasm shows and shines. And that's when that's when the traction grows, because people see you for what you are and who you are and what you're doing, and they love the content that you're bringing. So then they come for you. They don't come for specifically the content, because as long as you're doing what you normally do and having fun and laughing and joking, it could be watching us play Sea of Thieves, or it could just be the weekend edition, or it could be the main podcast. Whatever it is, you'll see we're pretty much the same on everything. The personalities we are the same. We're just doing different things that we enjoy.
Yeah, and another piece of advice I would give to anyone that is starting out is just be yourself.
Yeah, always be yourself.
If you're a silly type of person, enjoy it. Be silly. Like I sometimes wear a stupid poncho and a cowboy hat live on my Twitch stream, and I act like an idiot.
Yeah.
Just be yourself.
Another thing as well, because people always get hung up on it as well. But don't never try to focus on the amount of people that are watching you. Always act like if there's one person or 100 people, always act as if there's just a room full of people watching, like just one or two people. Like never think there's like hundreds of people watching or there's nobody watching. Just act as if there's like you and your mates there. Just talk freely. Just be yourself. Ignore the numbers. The numbers will do what they do. The more you are yourself, the more they'll naturally grow. Whether that be one person, 15 people, 30 people, 40, 100, 200, whatever it is. Naturally, it will grow. Just don't focus on it.
The best example I can give for a streamer I watch is Shroud. When Shroud first started out, he streamed for like a year to an audience of 0.
Yep.
Now look where he is.
Yep. And he's just a guy as well. He's not like Shroud's not some guy with like this unbelievable like content creation, because he's not. He's just a streamer. Like he's not fancy like Dr. Disrespect. Yeah, he's himself.
He's just himself, and he's one of the biggest streamers there is.
And then you see the opposite side of the scale, Dr. Disrespect, who's like wild with like unbelievable graphics and like intro sequences and like all this unbelievable CGI and stuff he's got going on. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's like next level. When I don't particularly like the guy, but you can't knock his level. He's absolute quality level.
I'm not a fan of Doctor Disrespect, but I can appreciate all of what he's got put together over there. It's crazy level of detail, and the amount of money that must go into that is amazing.
I remember like specifically when he started playing Elden Ring and that first little Elden Ring montage he put together,
Yeah,
where it like blended himself and like these stars happening and things like that, and I was like, the graphics on this are insane. Like, how has he managed to do all this shit?
yeah,
Like,
it's crazy. He's not someone that I'll watch a lot, but I'll see clips of him every now and then. He he puts a lot of effort into his streams,
oh, he does.
And he deserves the support he gets.
He deserves the
with
success
effort
because he's put his time,
yeah.
effort, and life into it. And that's the thing. When you put that much effort in, that much life, that much determination, that much work into something, you're going to get it back. Whether that's in a week, in a month, in a year, 2 years, whatever it is, the more effort you put into something, the more it comes back.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. Some of it is luck, but a lot of it comes down to you and how you sort of, I don't want to say act, but people can tell whether you're being fake or not.
Yeah, 100%. You can tell. You can see
Just be
straight away
yourself.
people have personas that they're not the same elsewhere.
Yeah, yeah. I fully agree with that. Like, people can read you,
Yeah,
and tell that you're putting on an act.
yeah.
Just be
Ninja, for
yourself.
instance, Ninja, as Fanto's mentioning there, he is an act. Ninja is 100% an
Yeah.
act. So I don't like the bloke.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of Ninja. Even in his early career, I always thought he was a bit of a douche.
Yeah. But Doc's the same. But at the same time, Doc is like, if you see Doc interacting with his community, he's so supportive of his community as well. Like, he might be a dick at times, but the way he is with his community love him, and he loves them equally right back. And when they're asking about certain things, he's trying to be supportive of people.
Yeah, yeah. I know, like, the Doctor Disrespect thing is like a character because he sort of created that whole character, but you can tell when he's being real.
Yeah.
And you can
100%.
tell when someone's being fake, like, example, Ninja.
Yeah. 100%. And shout out to Stuffed Sean there. It's a nice comment. He says, another great tip is not to be intimidated by established creators. I was so afraid to speak to WandrinDutch to begin with. I feel silly now, but I respect you more than ever. I appreciate that, obviously, massively. And I get awesome support messages from people who watch this show all the time. And every one of them means the world to us. With whether we've helped you through a bad time, or just by listening to the show, or give you a 5 minutes of breather from your day-to-day stresses, just having a laugh with us guys and the community here. Like, it honestly means the world to us, because that's exactly why we do this in the first place, and why we continue to do it, is because we feel like not only do we enjoy doing what we're doing, but if we didn't, we'd be letting everybody else down as well, and not giving yourselves an out when you need that out.
Yeah.
So
I fully agree with what Sean said there. Don't ever feel intimidated to reach out to a content creator. If it's a question that you need an answer to, feel free to reach out to your content creators. And most of them won't buy it. Some of them might, because some content creators out there are, not they don't handle their situation tastefully.
Yeah. Some of them. That's the thing. You'll know straight away. You'll know the content creators that you can reach out to and you can speak to, and you'll get good conversations from. And you'll know others that think that they're higher than thou, and they think that there's some kind of minor celebrity. And to us, we're not. I don't feel like any kind of celebrity. I'm just running a podcast. I've grown this awesome community, and now I feel, should we say, a semi-obligation to make sure I'm kind of looking after and helping this community kind of enjoy this awesome hobby and make friends and get people interacting with more people and all the like-minded people, and we can all have fun. That's the end of the day. It's all support each other and help each other grow.
Yeah, because most of us are just a person behind a camera or a microphone, and we're just doing our thing, and we enjoy it.
Yeah, 100%. That's what it's all about. And Joshua James there, and shout out to himself. Of course, it's a little bit later than most people for his podcast, being over in old Canada. I was going to say Canada there, but that's Canadian and Canada mixed in at the same time. Xbox North podcast is still looking for a co-host, so if anybody's interested, DM on Twitter. So yes, if anybody's interested on a late night podcast with Joshua James there for Xbox North, fucking hell, I've got a lisp now. Hit up Joshua James on Twitter there. He is under Xbox North, I do believe, or at least put your Twitter handle in the chat there, Joshua. And if anybody's interested on giving a go there, hit him up. Definitely. But yes, again, I just want to say, anybody has an interest in getting into podcasting or streaming or anything in between, and you want some question, you've got some questions that want asked or anything, that drop us a DM. Inbox is pretty much always open. If not, message us on, like, put the Twitter message out there asking for an inbox. I'll inbox you. Yeah, I'm always happy to help where we can to try and kind of get the ball rolling on new creators and help them be who they want to be.
Here. DM, just a DM away.
Yep, 100%. 100%. What an awesome conversation. But yeah, I think this wraps up today's show. It's been absolutely awesome, Jen. Awesome once again.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
Awesome community.
Been a nice conversation about a few different topics, apart from the one about the toxicity.
Yeah.
Not a great subject to talk about, but we have to talk about it because I think it's stuff that needs to be brought into the limelight and exposed.
Yeah, exactly. But we will wrap this show up today. Jen, thank you again for being my awesome co-host as ever. And let the people know what you've got coming up this week, where they can find you shitting your pants, and let people know where they can find you to talk to you.
Yeah, you can catch me on Twitch tomorrow night, 8 p.m. BST time. That's set the _general_C on Twitch, and my Twitter handle is the same, the _general_C.
Awesome stuff. And of course, tomorrow night, Alien Isolation returns. He has his jump scare sounds ready and available for everybody to scare the living shit out of him at random moments.
Yeah. I'm gonna make the jump scare sounds as cheap as possible in the chat points. Those are freely earned. You don't have to pay anything for them. You sit in chat and they build up on their own. I think I'll keep the fart sounds normal prices, just so people don't spam those too much, because it sort of draws away from the jump scares then. Because I'm sort
makes
of
you giggle instead.
Yeah. And I probably won't have the chat up so much, just so it's harder for me to see those jump scares coming. But I will pop the chat up every now and then, just to talk to the chat. And if I get stuck as well, people can help me out if they can.
Definitely.
It's going to be a good time playing Alien Isolation. I actually watched the first Alien movie the other day as well.
From time to time, I go back and watch Alien and Aliens, and I love them.
Great film.
But yeah, what time's that again? Is that 8 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. Eastern?
8 p.m. UK, yeah, and I think it's 3 p.m. Eastern.
Sweet. Awesome stuff.
I'm terrible at remembering time zones.
I've kind of got used to it now. All the multitude of different shows and things we've got going. But again, everybody in chat, once again, thank you to this awesome community. Thank you for everybody who tunes in, both immediately right now, live, and after the fact. Of course, we see you. We see your comments. We see your messages. We try to kind of bring them all out and highlight them as much as we can on the show. It's awesome. Thank you again for all of your support every week. And of course, you can find me everywhere at WandrinDutch. Of course, we're returning on Tuesday again for another episode of Sea of Tuesdays. with, of course, myself, General C, Parampluk, Xbox, Mick, Studos, and the rest of anybody else who wants to jump in. I don't know whether or not stuff Sean will be joining us this week, but hopefully.
Such a good time this Tuesday just gone. It was so good.
Yeah.
I've got some PvP in. It was a blast.
Oh, it is. It's always a blast. It's always a blast. But yes, everybody's always welcome to that. We always get 2 ships in the server, so yes, you're all welcome to join. If you can't join, then of course I hope you enjoy the stream when we stream it. Of course, straight after that, Sea of Thieves Tuesdays, of course, we've got the Midweek Mix-Up podcast again. We're going to have a new first-time guest again this week. I'll announce it, of course, close at the time. And, of course, after that, you will see ourselves back here for the weekend edition on Sunday. There might be, again, as always, might be some random streams in between. There's no kind of set dates for them. That's just as and when, and if I've got the energy to after works and things. But other than that, guys, again, thank you once more. I hope you have an awesome afternoon or evening, depending on where you're from, and the rest of your day. For the Americans as well, for tomorrow, because I won't see you all tomorrow. Happy 4th of July. Enjoy it. Try not to get too crazy. But until then, see you all again later. Have an awesome evening, and enjoy the gaming. Goodbye, guys.
See you later, chat.